Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Between Two Sticks. Hope everyone's enjoying their time off. Had a great, fun, safe, long weekend. Looking forward to getting this one going today. Get to the set here. The set Between Two Sticks. Your host, as normal, Big Kahuna 3. Joining me today, he is a two-time WJC gold medalist. He's a Memorial Cup finalist, the league's media director, host of Nothumbs, and AGM of the Oshawa Generals, Schwifty7. Thank you so much for joining today. How's it going?
You just had to remind me that I lost twice in the Memorial Cup final. I'm surprised you didn't throw the Calder Cup final loss in there too. To be honest with you, I lost that too, by the way. So. Anyways, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. This is a first for me here, you know.
Never done an interview before.
No, this is odd. It's odd to be on the other side, but happy to give it a go here for the viewers.
That's awesome.
Let's do this.
That's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to this. I know we've been talking over the last little while, trying to figure out a time and day, and I completely forgot we had no games this week, and I was like, sweet, okay, we have a day that finally works, so we threw it together for the day.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty shocked there was no games this week. Usually this isn't, you know, LG, I don't ever think gives this kind of weekend off. I think it was a rare circumstance. So, yeah.
For sure. So the way we start these things off, one random or interesting fact about yourself.
Well, look, you guys know me already, like most of you. Like I was trying to think of something interesting about me, but everything like the most interesting thing about me is probably that I run a Twitch channel, you know, that does fairly well considering the community, right? But I don't know, I'll give you something obscure. I think ketchup is an overrated condiment. Do you want to unpack that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Overrated condiment. It's probably the most popular condiment. And you're saying it's overrated.
No, listen, I'm Italian. I'm not sure if anybody, I guess that's an interesting fact. But yeah, I frown upon ketchup. It is not it. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair enough. And I know there's other people that think that or that are involved in that too, but that is a really random and interesting fact, I would say too. So Looks like Chaos in the chat with a big surprised face too.
Well,
So
I'm losing the audience already. I'm not even, we're not even, what, 5 minutes in
yeah,
already?
Griggs is unsubscribing. He said too. So
Well, I'm sorry
solid
to see you
start,
go, buddy.
solid start. Yeah, you won't get any more bits anymore because he's the bit king.
He's the bit king. That is, well, actually, Hex is up there as well.
Well, Hex is the sub king, I would say. I don't like Griggs. Griggs
Hex
is
is just
always bids.
Hex is a king. That's all I need to.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think that's a good assessment.
All right, let's get into it. So, similar question I ask everybody too, and it's a little more interesting when I find guys who've been around the league for a while. How did you hear about LG, and what made you decide to join the league?
So I actually played in the old VHL when everything was done manually, but um, I played like 2 seasons, and I got real frustrated one of the seasons, and I quit actually. So I was actually in early. My first season was with the Rock Says in goal. I played goalie for the team, the Windsor Spitfires, and then he had some personal things going on in his life. I took over the team actually and ran it. And then the next season I was co-owning, I believe it was, I can't remember. It was the Colorado's affiliate at the time, not the Eagles. It's a different team. I'm not sure what
Was
their
it
affiliate was.
the River Monsters?
No, no, no. It was, yeah, maybe.
Lake Erie?
No,
Nope.
I can't remember. I'd have to look, but I took over that team because the owner quit as well. I didn't take over that team. I was the manager. I was one of the managers, and then he gave it to somebody else, which I don't know. And then I got frustrated because it should have been my team, and the guy that took over started blowing things up. And we had a pretty good team. He started blowing it up. And then he screamed at me a few times, and I was like, "What the heck?" I should have been running the team, but I got disinterested. And then I guess a few years later, a few years roll around, and this is 2016. I think I played in like 2012 ish. A few years roll around, and Rock is playing LG on the London Knights, and he's proclaiming how great of a time he's having. And then I eventually decided to give it a go. So I got assigned to the Brandon Wheat Kings and Rise to Supremacy's team, and he had a good team at the time. So I worked my way on the roster, and I haven't been really TC since. So, you know, that's how I found out about LG through the Rock Says. Pretty. That's my story, I guess.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just starting on an absolute shit show of a team. That's super fun. I had a similar experience, as Moose is reminding me, with Tigers and Nutty Grandpa and Guelph.
Hell yeah.
Blind bidded and thrown into the AGM pool, and it was definitely a learning experience, but one that I definitely needed to have. So it was good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, getting back into management this season for yourself. When was the last time that you were manager, and what is one thing that you find is different now from the last time you were managing?
Well, I don't know if this counts, but I was in season 37. I was actually management for a brief stint. Um, yeah, I was on Henderson, and they kept flip flopping the AGM around, and then eventually it was my turn. Apparently, Reynolds ran the team with I believe it was Fly or Ryan, one of the two, and it was my turn apparently to be AGM, and I told them I was checked out because the season before, that was my most heartbreaking loss, season 36, when I ran that powerhouse Windsor team with Fly and Trimmy. And I didn't want to manage, and my heart wasn't in it. They gave it to me, and my heart wasn't in it, so I got them to take it off. They weren't happy with me that I wasn't grinding like they expected me to. But I'm, when you're checked out, you're checked out. Like, so I was just a player at about $1 million, I think. So that's the last time. But if you want to talk about season 36, that's when the last time I really owned. And I would say the biggest difference is there was four leagues, the ECHL and the Q were there, right? So there was so much more competition. But I will say as well, when I managed, I believe was it? I believe it was during COVID. I think season 36 was it during
You,
COVID?
I think, no, maybe just before COVID, actually.
So let me just double check that random stat that I just said. I think was it 2019 or was it during
Season
COVID? That's what I'm.
36 was
No, it was
2020.
during. Yeah, so
August
it was during
2020.
COVID. Perfect. So no,
I'm
well,
pretty.
not perfect, right? But it was during COVID, and that summer season, I'm pretty sure it had the largest pool um, of players ever. And the thing is, you can find like the difference between now and then is you back then you could find players. You could find any type of price at like there was 500K, right? But there was so many RVs were allowed. You can find any type of player and go out and acquire them easier because there was so. And the thing is too, you had more negotiating power then too. There was so many more teams, right? So you didn't necessarily like. I feel like a player I would put on the block today would doesn't garner as much interest as 80. What there was 88 teams at the time.
Yeah.
So you had 88 teams to trade with. Now you have 42. So that's the biggest difference. I would say there was the player pool was so much larger, but LG had to make the move to next gen on Xbox eventually. So we'll see if we can get back to these levels. Hopefully
Yeah.
very soon.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely was a lot different then too.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Like the player pool right now is tough and it is tight for sure. And I think you see it in all the leagues as well. Like it's a little
Yeah.
bit softer in the AHL, NHL too still. So
Yeah, no, well, the NHL, I think when I was doing bidding, I realized that the NHL, all the best play, like it was actually pretty deep. We were going over it. It was actually a pretty deep pool, but everybody got paid around what they should have. I don't think there was a lot of steals though. But everybody that should have been an NHL or I feel almost was, I didn't really see any like when we were doing AHL bidding, you didn't see a guy there where it was like, wow, I can't believe this guy slipped through. Like we saw Cax went for a ton. Like he got generational wealth. So,
right.
you know.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. And then yeah, like so, you have some experience as a manager. What do you think it takes to be a good manager in this league? And if you were to give advice to a new manager to help them be successful, what it would be?
Okay, so yeah, what it takes to be successful, you have to know what you have. Well, you have to know what's out there and know what you have, I think. In your organization, you need to know who is doing what. You need to know personalities, you need to know who plays well with who, you need to know what style of play they play. You know what I mean? You need to know your TC very well. You need to see who's active, who's not. You got a clean TC. It basically what I'm leading to is here. You need knowing the league is one thing, but putting in the work is another. And if you're not willing to work, then you're not going to be successful. And also, my most successful season ever came with a management team that put equal shares of work, regardless of what they say. I know Trimmy's in the chat right now saying, "Oh, you slept through bidding," but regardless, we all put in hard work. We did not slouch. You know what I mean? If you want to be successful, whether you're established or not, you can't slouch. When somebody goes on the block that you want, you can't let the market develop. You have to attack immediately. And um, that's pretty much the way it goes. You just gotta be active. You gotta put the work in, and you know every aspect of managing always ties back to the amount of work you do.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like one of the things you said, like get to know your TCs, get them involved. The one thing I've found over the last couple seasons, and I don't know if you would see it this season on your team, but I'm definitely seeing it, is um, TCs just are not nearly as active as they used to be. And you know, sometimes I'm trying to get to gather these guys around, and they're just kind of like, meh, they don't really care to be a training camp player anymore. To be honest, I don't know if you see the
Yeah.
same thing on your side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough to get them motivated to play. I guess is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Eat, thanks for the
Well,
follow.
there you go. The Death Star. Look at that guy. Anyways, you know, it you when you motivate TC, obviously if they're decent enough, they could probably play on roster in this CHL, right? I feel at least if you have some hockey IQ, you could play. Like it's that shallow. So you need to sell them on the promise of a potential job. And you need to play with them, see how they do. Because the thing is, too, Kahuna, you know this better than anyone. You know, you lost a guy that was protected to call up. Call ups are going to happen to everybody. The AHL is taking no prisoners right now. Um, like we have these methods of protection that aren't working because like you have to understand, like it's not like it's not up to us whether we can waive protections, right? Like it's up to the player. They gave us the tools, right, for protecting players,
Yeah.
and it's up to us to sell the player on staying down if they're approached by the AHL. But if they're not sold on staying, if they're not sold on staying down, if you don't sell them, they can go up. So, we've seen a bunch of call ups the last couple of days here as well. Like one of the ones I was completely shocked by was with the Canucks and CBK Tryhard. I was shocked he got called up, to be honest, at 2.5 million. Could not believe it because I'm pretty sure he wasn't bidding too. And, he went for 2.5 in the C. He could have been 750K in the A. But, that was one where I was just stunned, and it's happening like something that just happened the other day. The Cleveland Monsters, they lost. They called me up, like they called me up by accident, right? They called up my TC goalie Hartsey. They called up Frank Legit. They called up Frigid Juice. Like, all these call ups are starting to happen, right? And Rain got called up. That was your guy
That
too.
was my
Like,
guy. Yeah, he got traded for. No notification. Gets traded for and just got called up right away. And it was like, okay, sweet.
yeah,
So
there's a lot of call-ups happening, right? So my getting back to what we were saying, because this is off topic, but it relates. You just gotta, with your TC, you gotta sell them on, hey, look, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. So, um, you may have a job here because this too, Kahuna. The trade market's not the best. Uh, it's not the best right now. So, like, nobody wants to budge, right?
right.
And that's fair. It's your assets. Do what you want with them, but you can't easily find replacements. And I've just learned, like, when we got two guys banned, because they were cheating on from bidding. When we got them both banned, we were looking around, couldn't find anything, and we had to look internally, and eventually players won jobs. So bans can happen, call ups can happen. The jobs are there. You just have to develop yourself in a player, listen to what your manager has to say in terms of feedback, not get angry, and have a good attitude. And honestly, you'll probably get on roster.
For sure. For sure. That's very well said too. Yeah. Um, there's gonna be tons of opportunity this season. We just
Yep.
talked about it, right? And yeah, it's best to get.
AHL's not done. It's not
No,
done.
I was looking.
It's way
Well,
too
shit.
early.
I'll be honest. Like when I'm going to trying to make moves, like, and we talk about, you said you mentioned just a second ago replacement players. not easy to go grab a replacement player anyways,
No.
because the chance of somebody who's good in this league getting called up is pretty good. So you almost don't want to take the risk to bring on a really good player either,
Yeah.
right? Unless he has a contract that nobody else wants. But
Look, I don't know how much I could say here, but I was told in negotiations, like a player that I can't see getting called up, they're like, oh, he's not protected. I was like, what? You know,
yeah.
like this guy's not getting called up. They're like, oh no. I'm like, okay, you know, what are you gonna do, right?
Yep, yep. No, for sure. It's gonna be a tough season. You're right. I like the idea. Just try to sell it to the guys, get them motivated. We'll see what kind of active TCs there are around the league, but I know I got a pretty good group of guys, so I'm not overly concerned. There's just a
Mm-hmm.
few guys that you know.
4-0-2, Kahuna. Look at you.
Yeah, yeah, having a good start to the season for myself. I guess I'd like to get those two back. We probably should have won both those games, but um,
Oh.
so let's get to the team building and like how did your bidding go, and who's the biggest steal on your team? Do you think?
Uh, okay, my bidding, it went, okay, so I would say how bidding went. That's a good question because it was going well. We got our guys for fairly good prices, and some of the guys we wanted got out of control and 6 mil, around 6 mil. So we eventually pushed our chips in on one guy that we wanted to lead our team in scoring, and we lost him at the end, and we had to pivot, right? So we picked up a recommendation from, I won't expose the guy, but we used his recommendation, and I was hearing things about him, and I heard things about another guy. This is Boo and Smokey.
Hmm.
I was hearing things about them, and obviously, being the media director and being, you know, the host of, the largest LG podcast right now, I do not want to be cheating. Like, it's not in my DNA. I don't want to be cheating. So obviously, you go check with the big boss, LG McDonald. I sent him both links. I said, can you check these guys out? And he said they were both VPN accounts. So they both were banned because they did not have a legit IP. So we were forced, like, bidding went well until like that, because we lost two guys on value deals that were really good, but they're not real. They wasn't real. It was an illusion. And instead of having two legitimate players, that there was other guys we were looking at that are having success today. I don't want to give names about who's having the success, but we were looking at those guys as well, but we decided to go this path, and it blew up in our face. So we had to use our TC. So it went well. We had a bunch of value contracts, and it didn't go well because we lost two guys, two players, and we had to take two off our TC. So, I'm happy we have the value. Now it's our job to supplement that value. And to answer your second question, Harry Perry was our biggest steal. It's Harry Perry is he finished. I was on old gen. It was top. He was in GWC. I can't remember if it's top 16 or top 32. He's a hut guy. Plays right D with Grumpy. He knows how to move the puck. I think he's going to be a top 10, maybe top 5 pick in the draft.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see him
Mm-hmm.
play against us. I think week one, you guys played us, and yeah, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, we can defend, we can't score. So
Yeah, that was a crazy game
we
actually.
got
You guys won I think 2-1, and like you scored two goals in like the last like 5 minutes of the game, and your time on attack was like ridiculous compared to ours. But yeah, no, couldn't score any goals till the end.
Mhm.
Sweet.
We have the lowest goals against. It's just we can't. It's because we it's because we took away, like we I don't know. We need to mix lines or something. I think we got the talent here. I don't. We just, at the moment, like, our possession's off the charts. It's just not scoring.
It'll come. It'll come. You guys will find your way for sure.
Yeah, I
Just
hope
don't find
so.
it against us. That's all.
Well, no, I'm gonna find it especially against you, Kahuna. Come on.
Oh shit, right on. You know what? Actually, just quickly touch on those guys being banned too, and we talk about VPNs, and I don't know a ton about this stuff, but do those guys get an opportunity to defend? Like I know maybe in this case they were second tags, but like I believe VPN's probably a way that you could go to prevent getting booted from a game, right? Like it's something that you can do to protect your IP address. So
So
like, how does that work out? Like if somebody was trying to do something like that to prevent that kind of shit, right?
I that's not a I it's more of a question for McDonald, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh you have the thing is they didn't have a legitimate IP ever on the website.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could have a legit IP and like LG discourages VPNs. They're not it's not in the rule book and it's not illegal, right? But you need to have a legit IP, at least one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, yeah. Like, for instance, everybody in my chat the other day was like, "Oh, I only use my work VPN. Like, I use when I'm on my work VPN, I use the website, right?" Well, if you signed in using your legit account and you're using a VPN on the website, then if you get checked, McDonald has your real IP to pull from. So
Fair.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I see what you're saying.
that's you consent to sharing your IP, and if you don't share your actual IP when you sign up, then I believe they have the right. This is a technical question, not meant for me, but
You answered it pretty well.
I believe and I see Cupid's question in the chat. Um, it's hard to prove that they knew it has to be cut. And the thing about LG, it's based on evidence, right? If you don't have the evidence, you can't ban anybody. Like he can recommend me a guy if he doesn't confess to, oh yeah, I knew it was a tag, or there's no screenshots of him knowing. Like it's all circumstantial. LG doesn't ban on circumstantial evidence. We all know this. So
Yeah.
that's the issue. And if LG started banning on circumstantial evidence, everybody would be banned at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you're comparing. I mean, Cupid's comparing him to like one of the nicest guys in the league too. So he just probably openly admitted being like, "Yeah, I knew he was a tag." So
Yeah. Well, something else about circumstantial evidence is the thing is if you don't like a guy, you could just say in the party, this guy was saying, you could get everybody in the party to conspire and then say, oh, this guy was saying, for instance, racial slurs, like one guy, and then let's say he wasn't. It's circumstantial. Let's say LG decided to act and ban the one guy without any evidence. It's just off the word of people. Like you can you know what I mean? It's a sticky situation. You don't want to,
no,
because if circumstance was used, then everybody would go down, and it'd be easier to take down people, right? So
yeah, for sure, for sure. Sir Mop Bucket One, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. So
let's
what's that,
sorry,
Connor?
one I just want to address Greg's question in the chat. You know what, next time we either Kahuna or whoever, or myself, have McDonald on, this is a question for him and how he treats VPNs, because I'm not sure, but I know for a fact a lot of people have VPNs and a lot of people use VPNs on the website. So I'm pretty like there's no way he could just make a blanket rule and say we're banning all VPN users starting now. Like he'd lose a lot of his base. So you know what I mean? It's a question for him. I like I don't know how it works. You know?
Yeah, worth making a note of next
Sorry.
time McDonald's on a one of our podcasts. Ask that question for sure. I'll
Yes.
try my
Yes.
best to make a mental note of that. But so many questions we could ask McDonald for sure. Be Blubs, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Next question. Starting, you've had a very good record in the CHL. Looks like you've been on some really good teams. I think I know the answer to this, but what was the best team that you've been a part of and played on?
Okay, so my best CHL season. Are we talking about my line or are we talking about my
The
team? Because the
best
answer.
team. The best team.
Okay. Oh, you know it's season 36 Windsor. It's not. It's not close. Like, but if you want to talk about my best season, I think that'd be more of an interesting take
Let's hear it.
than. So I would say my best season regular was with Barry. Actually, it wasn't with. It was not with Windsor. Um, in Barry, I went. I believe it was like 21-2 or something like that.
Yep, that was it. Exactly.
Yeah, like I only lost one game in regulation. Like my Windsor season, I was 18-4-2, like 62 points. That's fun in games, but like, my Barry season, I 70 points and I lost one game. And it like I know there's a huge topic about scrub hunting, but my point totals have always been low because I always face the best competition. I don't like not playing comp. Like last week, I played Kingston and I played Niagara. You know what I mean? The Pete's happened to be that day too, but I played Kingston and Niagara, two of the best teams in the OHL. So like I don't back down from a challenge. I never have. Windsor, my point totals were lower, and because I always, with my line, took on the best teams. I like the competition. I like close, greasy games. Like I could easily scrub hunt and probably do what some other people do, but and I don't like the term scrub hunting either. I should add. I don't really care if you scrub hunt because it's all about tactics at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's like, let's say you have a third line that can't win a game. Why would you put that third line up against another weak third line? It does, and risk a loss. Why not just guarantee the win? So there's that. There's a whole bunch of technical things behind scrub hunting. I know Aaron Silence is allergic to scrub hunting, so you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, my best season was Barry with 20 wins. That's how I measure success, based on wins, not on points.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I like that answer. What was it about that team? Like who like that was so good? Like what made your season so good that year?
The Barry Colts.
Yeah.
It was chemistry. That's what it was. I had unbelievable chemistry with the Roxas and Captain Paul. Unbelievable. We knew where we were on the ice at all times. All three of us. Sometimes we divided lines, but I usually always played with Paul. Sometimes I played with a different line, different player. Um, so
That's fair.
you know,
That's fair.
yeah, it was just chemistry. So that's basically how it went down.
That's good. And I like that you diverted that question from like best team to your best season, thinking that maybe we're not going to talk about Windsor. We're going to talk about Windsor for a second for sure. So season 36, you guys make the MEM finals and then lose to the Iron Hands Tulsa team in 6. So just fall short. Is there anything that team could have done differently to win that series? And was that Oilers team a legit championship team, or is there something fishy going on with that squad?
I don't have any proof that they were cheating, so I'm gonna first make that statement. What I would do differently, I can't do anything differently.
There's nothing
It's
you would have
over.
done differently. No,
No,
I know, but
well,
like
no,
thinking
listen,
back, hey,
okay.
it could be over.
Okay,
Come on.
listen, Fly and I have this debate all the time, what we're gonna do differently. And the truth is, I guess what we would do differently is not okay. So we had a lot of issues in the finals. Bar Down could only play the Monday, or sorry, it was super odd. I think it was a short week. Um, it was a short week, so uh yeah, because you know how the Mem Cup works. There was a round robin. No, there was no round robin.
Uh-oh.
It was a best of 5 against Halifax in 2 days, and then there was a 3-day Mem Cup final. And Bar Down could only play, I believe it was the Tuesday and the Wednesday. That was it. He couldn't play, and he couldn't play the early game in the Wednesday. So that was the 9 or the 8:30. I believe there was 3 games that day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with the strategy because we played the Pete's in the finals, the OHL finals, and beat them, right? Our strategy was, look, we don't think these guys are as good as they say they are. We're going to go out there and we're going to top line them both times. And we're going to go up 2-0 in the series and demoralize them. Because that was our thinking. So we did that against the Pete's because we knew if we could go up 2-0 on the Pete's, that would shake them to the core. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they had a toxic team, the Pete's. Remember, Josh Yu was being incredibly toxic on that team. I believe they had more toxic guys kicking around. But he was being the toxic one on the Pete's. And then we saw this Tulsa. We circled Tulsa. And Tulsa, you know, they had a lot of personalities, and Sylvie being the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, if we can go 2-0, up 2-0 on Tulsa, they'll be demoralized and we'll just sweep them. So what we did is we went bar down, and it fit with our plan, right? Our thinking and bar down's availability. And we lost because Blix stole a game. Blix stole the game. He won the series, in my opinion, single-handedly. Quach missed a few open nets. If he hit a few of them, we win, right? We were dominating and we lost, right? Mm-hmm. And the split killed us because then we went down 3-1 because I was struggling. My line struggled, and then Ryan's line struggled. Ryan's line was struggling going in. We didn't make any changes to the lineup because the thing is, my line as well, we lost a pivotal game that we shouldn't have dropped, but I was so nervous the night before, I couldn't sleep. Like I just had no sleep. So I played awful. Fly and I debate like, oh, we would change the lines, but the truth is we wouldn't because my line was winning key games at key times. The thing is, you can't really change anything. We couldn't change anything. All we could do is be like, what would I change? I'd play better. That's it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Like, that's it. We had everything on the team. We should have won. We lost. They played a system that, gave us no room to breathe. And, all we had to, we just needed to play better. That was it. Bottom line. And we didn't. Because I think if we run it back again, we beat them. But, if you look at where the talent we have and what they developed to today versus what they developed today, I don't know. I guess Seb QC was their best player. I don't know where he's at now. But I'm trying to think. I guess Gungrave can play in the end. But we have a lot more NHL talent. We had a higher ceiling than them, like in terms of future.
Yeah, I actually don't know if that Seb guy plays anymore, to be honest.
I don't know where he's at. But our ceiling was definitely higher than Tulsa. I know Charwiener could probably play in the end. I think he's kicking around. Sylvie's in the A. Like our guys, let me go to this team real quick. Like Bar Down, obviously he's an esports champion. He played all 3 positions in his run. He won Caps Gaming, I believe. And he won Kings Coast, I also believe. Or he won Pacific Cup. He won something. I could check too. But I look at it, Quach, Calder Cup champion. Crunchy, he's an NHLer. P-Pass, he could play. He's a Calder Cup champion, can't play in the end. Ryan, 2-time Calder Cup champion. Trimmy, Memorial Cup champion. 3-time finalist. Bar Down, obviously esports. Spitty's an esports caliber guy. Rick, I don't know where he is anymore. Obviously Downtown's in the A. Games cashier, I don't know what's up with him. Fly, Calder Cup champion. Thirsty kind of left. DDA Warrior, he could play in the end if he wanted to, if people knew who he was. Hawks fan we don't speak of anymore. And Big Mac won a Calder. Like, our team has a lot of winners. It's just they went on to win things, right? But we could just never.
Just fell short that season.
We just fell short. That's it. If we played it again, we win, I think.
There you go.
If I could reset and do it, if Iron was like, okay, let's do it again, I think we beat them. But they won. They took advantage of us, and they took advantage of our weaknesses, and they won. It's simple as that.
It's fair. Good in-depth assessment of your two teams. I like that. While you were talking, Mini Manny, thank you for the follow, and FIFA, thank you for the follow. Already getting involved in chat. Love to see it. Let's move on to some of that media stuff. So, when did you first get into doing the media, and how did that start?
Okay, so I actually started doing articles. I used to write articles about things going on in the league. A few of them was one of them. What was very popular was I wrote about. It was the Ottawa 67s back in the day. They had a all European line. I'm not sure if you know about this. It was a EU line, and they would pull EU, and everybody would be on 100 ping, and they'd be on 1 ping, and they were absolutely schooling people. And I evaluated the entire situation, and I gave a reaction to it, and it was received well. There was other things I did, in terms of article writing, but I think I really wanted to start a podcast. Was one of my one I it's easier to speak than to write, because when you write, obviously there's a lot of typing involved, and with it takes more time. There's an editing process, there's a fact checking process. I guess you should check your facts when, like, right now, for instance, right? Like, if I'm saying something out of turn, you should check. But it was a lot more time consuming to write. So I wanted to start a podcast. This was season 31. No, 32. Season 32 is when I wanted to start a podcast. And we could talk about the PVM disaster. It was PVM. It was called Prolific Virtual Media, founded by Roland J and Jet. And they were in charge of basically a media brand for the website. And people say, why not have one united media team? Why not everybody work in conjunction? And the problem is, it happened before and it failed miserably because, one person was doing more than another, and the brand was taking credit for it. The brand took credit for all the individuals' work when the people at the top weren't doing anything. With all due respect to Roland, because I know he still kicks around. With respect to him, they weren't really doing anything. They were just supervising, I guess. But that's PVM. They got me my media tag. That's the best thing PVM has done. They got me my media tag, and they got people their media tags. So I got a media tag, and then I wanted to start a podcast. So I kept pitching it, and they were, they didn't really give me a time frame on when I could launch it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it, and I'm just gonna do it. And fun fact, I started it with Ice Sniper. He doesn't like when I talk about it because I kicked him off after 2 episodes because he couldn't take constructive criticism. I don't really care anymore. But you know, yeah. So that's how I got into it. It was through PVM that collapsed once. You know, other people were doing a lot of work. Some other people weren't doing anything. And then it was just like, why are we under this brand? Why not start our own brands? And it led to Um, I just wanted to start a podcast, and a lot of people were harping on my thumb skills, so I called it No Thumbs because I thought it'd be playful to take a shot at the host that can't play the game well. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I actually never knew how it got started, so that's some really good insight. And I
yeah.
love the fact that you started with an ice sniper and he only lasted 2 episodes. I
Well,
love that.
he was good in giving opinions, and he actually gives real like he gives opinions that provoke a reaction, and that's something that's actually good. But it's just the person he was. It was like I asked for constructive criticism, and he was like he couldn't take it. He would just go back and he'd say, his attitude was, "I know better." You know what I mean?
Yeah, yep, yep.
And that doesn't get you far.
Nope.
Like you can disagree with their opinion, but there's a respectful way to do it, and he was just not respectful. And I tried talking some sense, and he would never apologize for it. He would never. And I was like, okay, if you're not going to apologize when you make a mistake, you can't be on my show. Like like when I make a mistake, I'll openly, I don't like if I'm made like a fool and somebody makes a fool out of me, and I'm embarrassed, I'm not afraid to get on the mic and be like, hey, I screwed up.
For sure. For
It's
sure.
better to disarm people with the truth, rather than double down on something you screwed up on. Just disarm, own it, and move on. It's simple as that.
Yep, yep. No, I agree. Um, we've seen a lot of people dabble in forum posts and some people getting involved in some streams, but not consistently providing content. How have you done this for so long and so consistently? What is it that keeps you going?
That's a great question. Um, so I have to look exactly when I started. Like, give me a second, because I could give you a timeline on
For sure, for sure. Because I know, like, and just like while you're looking that up, like, I know for myself, like, I've been really consistent, and
Oh,
that's the goal, is trying to stay consistent. But like, there's days where I'm like, fuck, I don't think I can do this today. Like, it's just sometimes it's such a grind, but find a way through it just because I love
okay.
like getting in these conversations and whatnot. So just interested to see what kind of drives you.
Right. Okay. So great, great question. Okay. I started in February 2019. At the time, the truth is, I was I had a lot of free time because I wasn't employed full time, right? So obviously, uh, you know, when you have a part-time job, you have free time on your hands and you can do other things as well. I just graduated too, like, you know what I mean? I just graduated. So, from university. So I had a lot of free time on my hands, and, um, I wanted a way to take the free time up, and I was uber passionate about LG. Like, I loved everything about it. I love everything about it. The way it's structured, the bidding system, the rosters, the three lines, the 3 games a week. I RAs are interesting to me. There's a lot of technicalities I think LG gets right that nobody else does. Um, so I was uber passionate, and there's also a lot of other factors as well, like, the little things, uh, like server selection, chemistry. Like, there's so much to talk about in LG. You can go in depth. If you could pick a thing, like, I think Bic's thing, or I'm not sure if it was Bic or Chick. I'm pretty sure it was Bic. Bic's thing was jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could do media about just about anything. You could talk about the teams, the players. That's what my passion lied in. You could talk about drama, which the Doghouse did. I don't mind talking about. I was never big into the drama because, like, some of the drama was completely irrelevant, which they would talk about. It had no overwhelming bearing, like, to the league. like you know what drama does have like a genuine impact, and that's I'll give you an example: the Kansas City tag bust. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's drama we're talking about. You know, not oh this guy said something and he was made to look like a fool. You know what I mean? Like remember when a team folded? That's drama right there. You could talk about like that drama I prefer rather than like oh this guy talked shit about Big Kahuna and lost to Big Kahuna and you know what I mean like you know what I mean like
Yeah, I know what you're saying. There's a
to each
story.
their
There's
own
a
though.
story behind it, right? Like
To
the
each their
Kansas
own
City
though.
one.
The doghouse was super successful in their days, so like they had a formula that worked for them, right? I'm not gonna harp on their my formula works for me, their formula works for them. We're two different podcasts. Um so you know my motivation to keep going was, people just kept coming. The viewers, the chat just kept coming. People can continue to encourage. You know what I mean? Um, and when I don't do media, I hear about it. I haven't done it for a few weeks now, and I'm hearing about it, right? Like people want it. And there's a sense, I feel a sense of like now that there's more variety, I feel less of a obligation. I like you do it more than you do it quite a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't feel as like I want more media, so I don't have that obligation because my real life now is becoming like I don't have I don't have like 3-4 days a week where I can make all these intricate slides like I used to, and you know what I mean. And I could do it on the weekend, but then again, like I'd be taking away from my social life. So but I used to have the time, and people keep asking, and I'll just keep doing it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy having a take. I enjoy having an audience that, you know, listens to what I say, but also gives me pushback. It's not always Schwifty. Like some people mistaken, like my opinion is the be all end all. There's a lot of different opinions. Like when I like you talked with Aaron Silence. About the C tier Prince Albert Raiders. They had something to say about it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and I think it made it that much more fun. It made it more of an interesting story and something to follow through the year too. I thought that was fun.
Yeah. So, my opinion doesn't mean it's going to happen or and some people take it as a slight on them, which I never intend to do. Some people get super upset with what I have to say. I've lost some viewers that way because I always praised them and then they had a bad run. And guess what? I went at them. Listen, I'm not gonna, when it comes down to it, I'm not gonna hold back on what I think. You know what I mean? Greg's is one of my biggest supporters. He's a longtime viewer. He supports the show. He subs to the show. If he's not doing something right, I go at him, and you know what? He respects that. He doesn't go away. He still comes back. Like he's a very respectful viewer, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
The ketchup comment might have
but
thrown him off at the beginning of this.
but there's a you know it like there's so many elements to why I love doing media, and somebody's got to do it. But now, unfortunately my life is developing where it's harder and harder to do it. It's just, and I'm hoping like I'm doing a job change right now. Like I'm hoping working from home gives me more energy because I'm not gonna lie, I commit I commute to the office, work a 9 to 5. Sometimes I go 8 to 4, but it flexible hours, right?
Yep.
And then I have to do another hour commute home. It drains the life out of you. Like I have been drained, and especially in this hot weather, I don't handle the heat well at all. I'm not I don't handle the heat well. So like it drains me. Like I wear a ton of sunscreen. I got burnt on my shoulder, and I lathered myself, and I still got burnt. Like I was like, how does this? Like I just, um, you know,
Yeah.
it just drains the life out of you. And I'm hoping working from home gives me more energy. It's going to be very soon that I'm going to transition here,
Yeah.
but you know, my motivation has always been the interaction with the community. And if people keep showing up and people keep their interest levels high, I'll keep doing it. Simple as that.
Fair enough. You kind of touched on it a little bit, just like with your opinions and stuff, right? Like knowing when you do media, you can't make everybody happy.
Yes.
When you first got into it, did you find it tough at all? Like when some of the community would get upset with some of your takes?
No.
Never, eh?
No. I don't take sorry, can you repeat? It's do I get upset with people?
No, it's like when you first got into it, did you find it tough, like to do this stuff when like you found out like some of the community they were getting upset with some of the things you would say? Like, did you find it
No.
like at the beginning? Like, I know a lot of people get turned off by that right away, being like, "Oh, they don't appreciate it because they're arguing with me." But I mean, they're reading it and they have a different opinion. And that's allowed. But like, some people can get pretty defensive about some of the stuff that media people can take on their teams or them personally, right?
Yeah, the way I see it is, I know I've talked like I think being a small Twitch streamer, you have more of a personal relationship with your audience because you know who they are. You've talked to them either through chat or um, in a party because you could end up with anybody in a party when you're looking for sixes, right? And I never found it tough. When I gave a take that people don't like, you just be respectful about it. And, if somebody wants to pop off on you because you're being respectful, that's on them. It's not my problem. Why should I be mad and upset? And you know what I mean? Like I give like when I gave my C tier take, you know what? I give my opinion and I walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I try not making it personal. If people take it personal, that's on them. I remember I said something you know, like they didn't show up or whatever. And some people take that personally. I'm like they didn't try, like they it feels like they gave up early and some people take that personally, but it's not a personal attack on anybody. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
definitely.
intend to do that. Some people come at me personally. That's fine. Do what you want. To each their own, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um but I don't get upset, man. You keep going, you just keep going. If you let people get up if you let people get to you, then you're not cut out for this job.
Yeah, for sure. I know like once I started doing like my Kahuna's Corner thing where I'm calling out blowouts, I was like, people aren't gonna like this. But you know what? It's been a lot of fun because like I'll get a random message being like nice blowout, and then it's them winning or something. And but I've never
Good.
had any nasty messages, so it's been good so
Good.
far. Yeah, but definitely something I was worried about. Like if people didn't like that, and started to get a little bit upset about it. So, but it's been all right. So everyone has fun with it. Um, but yeah, so what is in your show? What is your favorite segment to present to the community?
Um I could tell you what I love and what everybody else loves.
Sure.
And everybody loves the tier list, right? I think it's getting bland. It's the same thing. It's this people love the same, but to me, I need to think of something. I'm trying to like I promise tier list shows, but I think I might do what I think I like now. I'm considering like I'm like oh tier list week. I'm considering doing it only once, and this is mid season just to see where I finalize. Get a very good evaluation on where people are at, and finalize it mid-season rather than doing one at the beginning and one at the middle or one towards the end. I'd rather just do one and then that's it. You know what I mean? Because it's getting like it's getting bland, and my knowledge of leagues is deteriorating. Like I don't spend as much time on the website as I used to.
Mhm.
So I do try pulling for external opinions. Um, so I'm trying to think of a way to innovate tier lists because a lot of people love it, but it's getting bland. And when it gets bland to you, then it's just a chore to do it. So
That's fair.
so my favorite segments were probably the Among Us segments. I'm not sure if you remember the Among Us segments. I called it emergency meeting, and basically we would suss out like different topics. Like one of them was large contracts. We would be like, "Are you gonna clear them, or are you gonna put sus on them?"
I
You know what
did
I
see
mean?
that. Yep, yep. No, I
Yeah,
know
that
that.
was
Yep.
that was my by far. I got to bring that back, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like those kind of segments. You know, a lot of like segments the community loves. The gassing, I gotta cut that out.
Yeah. We know.
So
I know that. Know all
man, I
about
got in
that.
trouble. We can't speak about that.
Awkward.
That's awkward, but you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have to say, like, I love that deal or no deal you did this season too. That
Oh,
was
that
pretty
was
fun
fun.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had the music on the background, the banker music. That was like I would love to do a game show, but the problem is you can't really prevent cheating.
Oh, for
You know what I
sure,
mean?
for sure, for sure. But I mean, you could just have game show with a group of people that you know and trust. But yeah, no, I mean, that, like those segments are fun for sure. And I know everybody loves the tier list until they're at the bottom of it though. But like this, they'll
Yeah,
still tune in. But
yeah. People get upset, and like it drives like Aaron was talking about this on your interview with her. She was talking about her statistics, the uh,
the case study stuff.
yeah, where she called out scrub hunting, and
Yep.
you know, and it drove people to go at her, and like it drove opinions. So yeah, like tier list does that. Some people are thrilled with the ranking. Some people get a B tier, which isn't bad, right? And they're still upset. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair. You definitely, anytime that show comes out, you get somebody that says, keep sleeping on us. You get somebody that
Oh, that's
screenshots it and puts it in their manager chat for motivation. It's
good.
a bunch of different reactions for sure.
I'm happy to motivate you. I'm happy. Anyone. Like I'm thrilled. Like you don't understand, everybody. Like I will be willing to motivate anybody who needs it. Like if you want to be if you feel your team is slacking and you have good potential, like and I see that your team is underperforming and I put you in the D tier, you could just be like, "Hey, look, this guy's a clown." You know what I mean? Go out there and win. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
There's ways to motivate.
for sure, for sure. Hey, for the people that are thinking about getting into media, maybe they're dabbling a bit right now, like what advice would you give them to be successful?
Um, well, are you talking about like what type of
I
media?
think any though, right? To be honest, like you said, the way you started, like I did, I started no different. I started with forum posts
Well,
and turned into this too, right? So, like somebody that just wants to get started into it, and I know there's a few people that have reached out to me about it and interested in getting into it. So I'm just kind of interested to see kind of what your like advice would be to those people.
okay, so consistency is key, obviously. If you pick a day every week and a time, um, this is what I did in the beginning. Everybody knew when No Thumbs was. And because I was so consistent, I built up the base. It's been 3 years. 3 years to get to where I am. It's not like I did this overnight. Like some people want it all at once. If like you're gonna have to work. Like if like it's a theme of this podcast apparently. Working. You show up, you remain consistent, and eventually the base will develop, and you'll get a base, and you'll get a readership, or you'll get a viewership, You know what I mean? If you remain consistent and you believe in your work, you don't want to put anything out you don't believe in. If you don't believe in it, don't bother. If you're doing it just for the notoriety, don't bother. You got to have passion for it, and and if you have passion for it, it will show. It will show in your work, and people will know if you're fake or not on air. I think, I there's been a few times where my heart wasn't in it, and right now like my heart, like everybody wants a tier list, but my heart's not there. I want to feel passionate about my work and what I put out, not, you know I don't want to, put something out I don't believe in, right? So believe in your work and be consistent, and people will come, and obviously follow the rules, because that's, you don't want to get banned. You know what I mean? You don't get banned. Don't
Yeah,
get banned.
for sure.
And you can come to me if you want help. I like Kahuna will tell you, like, if you ever need my help, I'll provide it. There's a media Discord for everybody who wants to be media. There's helpful guides in there. There's access to the top people in LG. There's access to promotional tools. We have now a promotion team in there. It may not be the most active chat, but the tools are there for you to be successful in media. That's what I made that Discord for. Not to, obviously, what I like a major discussion every day, and, everybody keeping, yes, but, it's mostly there for you to get started and remain involved, and to have, the tools you need to be successful.
For sure, for sure. And then as the media director, what changes would you like to see in the coming seasons to grow or improve on our media coverage?
Well, one thing that has always been talked about is a separate media page, like a media tab where everything is under that. Like, you have your own. I don't like, it's just, how there's LGCHL, LGHL, whatever. There's like a media section. Well, I don't love the idea of a media page, actually. What I would like to see is, in the forums,
Yeah.
I would love to see a media section for people with media tags that post, and auto goes there, instead of, it's sinking to the bottom when predictions come out. You know what I mean? If somebody's doing a playoff write up on the teams involved, it sinks to the bottom every time during, playoffs. Like, you don't want that. You want your own form section. I know there's the ribbon at the top. It's currently broken, though. You can't put your own thumbnail at the top right now. It needs to be fixed. But I would like to see forum posts have their own section in the forums, so they don't get bumped down so easily. I would say 5 forum posts at a time would be, and then obviously the older ones would get bumped off and back into the forums, or something along those lines. That's one thing. Um, I want to see more support on Twitter. Like, LG is basically, like, the way it's marketed is through word of mouth. And this is like one of the things I want to see change differently in media is LG. Like, we have these major sports teams on the website. I don't know if this is a media thing or, yeah, well, it's the promotion of LG, right? We have this major tool available to us, and it's the Twitter accounts of the Pacific, like Sharks, Columbus, New York Islanders. You know what I mean? They have
Yep.
their own gaming Twitter accounts, right?
Mm-hmm.
What really upsets me when I see it is, you know, when I see them tweet about the tournament, they're talking about the tournament. LG's not mentioned. Like, I don't see a whole. I know it's on the website, but when you sign up, like, I wish LG would, like, in these tournaments, would promote the free league better. That's my point.
Yep.
Because right now, some of these people just see LG as an esports website where it's only big tournaments. Where we have this amazing, incredible product that honestly is in my opinion is the most competitive, because Olympia and whatever Prodigy and Scary Hours and Entourage, they win all the time. Like, who's going to be in the mix. I would love to see a random team come out of nowhere and win it, but you always know who's going to be in the mix to win that tournament. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But in LG, anybody could win.
Yep.
That's what makes it so incredible. Anything can happen. It's not the same 5 players, 6 players on the ice. It's 3 different lines, and if your big line loses, you're in trouble. And I just feel like in these esports tournaments, it's like, I don't know what LG gets. I expected a bigger I think we could be doing so much more with these organizations to help grow LG. We help grow their platforms, but I feel like they got to help us grow too. I feel like it has to go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to promote LG. And hey, you may not be at the level of esports, like the viewers, you know what I mean? They like, not every viewer is going to be J Claus,
Right.
or Scary Joey or Lemlin or Rocket or Gilly. Not everybody's going to be that, but you need to showcase that, hey, the casual viewer that plays NHL on a casual basis, you could be playing LG. You could be playing in the CHL, the TC League to some extent, even though I don't know what's going on with it right now. I haven't looked into it. You could be good enough to play in the NHL, but you could, like, I would love to see esports promote what we do here, because the market, like, San Jose has like 800K followers on Twitter. You don't think we could pull maybe like a couple of hundred into the website? That's a big boost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I remember you bringing this up
couple
on
things,
one of
yeah.
your streams too, and I think
Yeah.
it's a great point, right? Like,
Mhm.
how we do it is the next piece, but I think it's something we should definitely dabble into. Maybe we can give a quick little blurb for Grizz threes when he's doing his finals and stuff like that. Just a little intermission.
For Grizz,
Yeah. This
I don't think
esports
Grizz will
tournament is
do it.
presented by League
Yeah,
Gaming.
that,
Join today.
yeah, but Grizz will get in trouble. You don't do that to Grizz. He'll get in trouble.
Hey.
I think he will get, like, unless he does, like, I don't know. It's definitely something to discuss.
Yeah, we got to find a way. I don't disagree. We're like you said, like all the
Like
followers
LG,
these NHL teams have. I'm gonna say probably a decent amount of them are playing this game some point.
You know why I bring this point up? It's because Nasher tweeted one time if he should get back into LG. Should I do LG again? And in the comment sections, guess what? What's LG?
What is LG? Yeah.
What is LG? To his hundreds of thousands of followers, what is LG?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's it. That starts the conversation. And then all of a sudden, boom, here we are.
I could go find the tweet and go look at it. It's like, what's League Gaming? What is that? What's LG? He's like, I want to play it again, but I'll have to start in the CHL. Like, he was talking about it, and it generated buzz. And obviously, like, it's different with influencers, right?
Sure.
But if we can get some of them, because the Hut community, if we can get the Hut community, like, it's obviously way bigger than the Sixes community, which I think Sixes is better quality hockey, right? But if we can get them to start playing Sixes more, I guess. Like, the thing is, it's a whole thing. Like, they do this for a living, right? So they don't want to go uncompensated, and LG obviously won't compensate them. It'll have to be like a free thing. But
yeah, for sure.
like, if we could get these influencers, I see Henrique playing LG. That's a big one. He doesn't stream his games though, but if he started, maybe we could pull some from the Hut community. You know what I mean? He's a big streamer. No Sleeves doesn't play anymore. He used to play LG. He actually did media for LG, I believe, on PSN.
Oh wow.
So I believe so. I'd have to check. No, he did. Like, and then obviously he got into Hut and he's in the esports side of things, but he doesn't play in the league, right? So
Right.
if you can start pulling these guys, Nasher used to play LG, but he had a really bad first season, and then he never played again.
Not for him. Not for him.
Well, if he played now, I don't know how. Well, I think, you know what? I think he'd do pretty well in the CHL. Obviously,
This
like,
season
but
for sure.
He'd get 8 million, and he'd have no line mates. So like,
Yeah, didn't that
he'd get
happen? That
coach
happened when
money.
Burpee played, right? He got bid up to a crazy number, and I don't think he was on an Unreal team by any means.
Well, no, but I'm talking about now. It would be even harder unless the free contracts on the team will play with him, and he could build a super line, and everybody else will struggle.
Yep.
I don't know.
Fair enough. Last
But
question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Last question.
Mhm.
And then I'll open it up for the chat to ask some questions if they have any for you. Face reveal. I was trying to convince you to do it today. I respect the hell out of you saying no because it makes sense. You want to do it on your stream. When is this going to happen? The community is waiting.
Kahuna. Well, the thing is, if I did it on your channel, you'd be, you know what I mean? You would have a lot more viewers, I think.
Yeah, Kahuna to the
But-
moon. That's why I had to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Do I want to do it is the question. Like, I know people want to see it.
I think you have to do like a subathon or something.
I don't want to do a subathon.
There
There's
you
no
go.
chance of that happening.
Yeah, 24 hours straight subathon, and then at the end you
that's
show your
crazy.
face. Let's go.
I couldn't survive a subathon.
That's fair.
But the subathon, oh, I got a gripe with subathons, but they're not real subathons. I feel if you do a subathon, you have to be on camera at all times. I think No Sleeves does it right. But like some of these people, like these big streamers, they put videos or they put a DVD logo in on the background, and it's like you got to show yourself. You got to be on stream at all times. Like,
For sure.
and then somebody would take over. Like I remember Ludwig did his, and then some people would take over for him at a time, so he'd get a rest. But like if you're gonna do it, you got to commit. Like, you know what I mean? That's a full commitment. Face reveal, I don't know. Like, once you do it, you can't take it back. Right?
Yep, that's fair.
I know the support will be there for me. And I know everybody wants to see it. And you know what? It is kind of limiting onto what I could do. You know what I mean? It's limiting. It is limiting. Like what if I get offered an esports like in an analyst position, and they want me on camera? Like, what am I gonna say?
You have to.
I have to do it, right?
If that ever happens, you're gonna have to reveal it on your show first, so you get your views and stuff, right?
Yeah. No matter what, the show will be the reveal. Right?
Yeah.
Like it is limiting, but it's also you can't take it back. Once you do it, that's it. You got it. You gotta. That's it. You're done. So you want to make sure the timing's right. And the thing is too, if I do it, I want to sustain success. Like I want to be I want to make sure like I get all these viewers because everybody wants to see what I look like for some reason. But I also want to make sure it's just not a one-off and you have a lot of success, and then you do it again the next day and it just fades. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather have like I don't know.
That's fair. Hey,
like I keep
fair.
setting goals. Like I'll do it at this number. I'll do it at this.
Have you hit that number yet?
No.
Okay, well that's fair. That's fair.
And I kept lowering it too, and I even haven't hit the lowered number. because the community's drying up. You know what I mean? I have to start doing other things if I want to get more of a base. Like, I don't pull, during bidding shows, I used to pull like 200 followers out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even pull that. I didn't even pull, I think, 50. I think I pulled like maybe 25.
That's why, like you
Like,
said, we need to start promoting this league a
yeah,
little bit more and
I
getting in
know.
new
We need new
faces, right?
people.
That's what
You
it
know, the
is.
CHL right now, the prospect pool's drying up. I actually feel like we have a stronger than last season prospect pool so far, but it's drying up. It definitely is. Like, and it's the same people, and we need new faces.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So the wait still is on for the face reveal, and Schwifty will reveal his face when he gets his big esports contract, is what it sounds like.
Oh,
Correct. Nailed it.
well, I don't even know if I'll get it. Anything.
It's gonna happen. If that's what you want, at least. I don't know if you want that.
Yeah. You know, I've been the big fish in the LG pond in terms of doing media for them, and they haven't asked me yet. So, like, if I'm
So
being honest.
maybe the face reveal is all you need. Maybe that's what brings it to light.
Yeah,
They're
maybe,
like, holy
maybe,
shit, we need to get
maybe
this
they
guy
gotta
on
look.
camera.
Yeah, maybe they take a look at me and they're like, "Hey, this guy, what's
There,
up?"
yeah, there we go.
It is possible, but like I said,
Maybe you're holding yourself back right now.
I may that is something I've thought about. I might be holding myself back in what I can do.
Shit.
Um. So.
All right. Well, this has been a good one, a long one. Really great
Yeah. No.
conversation. I
When
learned
you
a ton. Learned a ton today.
when you have me on the podcast, it goes forever.
That's all right. I need more hours, anyways. This is good. Um, this is the part again. I will open up to chat to see if chat has any questions they want to ask you. But also I allow my guests to ask me one question if you have one.
Yeah, I do.
Let's hear it.
I came prepared, Kahuna.
It's good.
I forgot my question. No, I'm joking. Kahuna, you currently have been doing your Kahuna's Corner, covering games. Doing like a kind of a preview of the night, right?
Mhm.
And you also have now been doing sit down interviews. Is there anything you are interested in getting into in media beyond what you currently do?
You know what? I think so. Like there's a part of me that likes the idea. Like when I've listened to your streams and even like the Five for Cosmic guys do a great job in calling games. I don't know if I have the mental capacity to think that fast and know who everyone is. It'd be a lot of work, but that could be something that I'm interested in. Just more so if I wanted to continue to do this kind of stuff and maybe even broaden or expand like past doing just LG stuff and then maybe into that esports scene. Like calling games is like one of the big things that you see, like like Grizz doing and stuff like that. Like so, I would be very interested in doing some of that stuff, but the timing has to be right, and I have to be like prepared for that, and I'm not there yet. But that's something I could be definitely interested
So
in
you
doing.
want to potentially do game calling
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
yourself, like play by play.
Yeah, I think so. I think it
First
just
of all,
go ahead.
let me say you have the voice for it. That's important. You don't want to have an annoying voice. You know what I
Fair,
mean?
fair enough.
And I think you have levels of excitement too, which is important. Um, the second thing is you don't really need to study anymore because once a player touches the puck, their name comes up now. So it's helpful.
Yep.
I used to have to study before game calling, and that was a pain. Because the thing is too, like some people didn't have the colors on, and you wouldn't know who's who, right? Um,
That's tough.
yeah, that is tough. So I used to use the jersey number, so I'd have to literally study. But now it's easier. It's more accessible than ever. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, like I said, something definitely interested in at some point, and it would take a lot of practice for sure. Practice is super important. I think Notable Maple does a great job when he does it. I think you do a great job, and you always have good guests on when you do it too. So something that'll take practice, and I just gotta probably try to do it. But I'm pretty content with the stuff I'm doing now. No rush. No rush to do anything new.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's a good question. Um,
Yes, sir.
Not much going on in chat here. FIFA's been in chat this whole time. He says that
Noted hater how to FIFA 8, but continue
yes,
on.
definitely. He's asked Schwifty why he dodged the WJC game versus FIFA in a critical must-win game. He saw you were in and then removed from the lineup.
I went 4-2 that WJC. I don't even remember it.
So you didn't dodge him.
I don't even know what team he played on. You know, I honestly have no idea. I played Tuesday. I don't even know. Is this Great Britain?
Was it this past season, FIFA? Must have been.
Could have been I don't know. Ask Hines. He was the owner. I didn't like. What do you want from me?
FIFA, ask Hines.
Dude, ask Hines. It's his team. I don't know what the hell. I don't remember
the scheduling.
Anything.
He does the scheduling.
I just signed up to have some. I regret signing up. Don't get me wrong. I immediately regretted it.
Well, you needed to go for 3 gold medals.
Dude, I went. No, I don't need another gold. If I wanted gold, I'd run my own team.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, not much coming through chat. Obviously appreciate you doing this. Like you said, it might be a little bit different for you being on the other side. You did a great job, and I really appreciate you hopping on. And
yeah,
like you mentioned it earlier about helping people, and I do appreciate like all the support that you gave me to get me kind of where I am today. And
hey man, you need anything else? I'll do. Like I may not do it myself, but I'll get somebody else to do it. But now
for sure.
I don't see you needing like too much help anymore. Like I think you're self-sustaining. Once you become self-sustaining, you don't need me anymore, right? Like what do you need me for? Like,
To do interviews.
If you need an interview, I guess. Like I guess Trimmy wants to do an interview.
I know, I saw that. We might have to get
Between
Trimmy in
Two
here.
Sticks AHL edition featuring
AHL.
XX Trimmy XX.
Where?
Look at that. You see that in the chat?
Yeah. Trimmy also asked, Schwifty, how does it feel to be part of a show that stays on the rails?
Well, that's a good question. It actually feels, a little bit out of place. I feel like I'm on the rails. That's how it feels. That's not me. That's not my style. So
that's funny.
Anyways, we'll let you end the show, Kahuna.
Awesome.
I'll just keep it going. So
yeah, no, it's good, man. Again, like thank you so much, and again, thank you for the support. It definitely helped me a lot. You've been there when I've asked some questions about certain things, and promoting me and allowing me to promote my stuff in your Discord. So I appreciate that. And then on the flip side, like to anyone who's thinking about doing media, I am more than happy to help with any questions you have. Schwifty's already mentioned he would help. Like we have a really good community.
I'm the media director. If you need help, come to me. Like I can help you. I can help you better than anybody else. I like don't be afraid. Have an idea, pitch it. I'll give you some criticism. You got to take it. I know it sells. We'll make something of it, and then it's up to you to keep it going. I can't will you to do work. You know what I mean?
That's fair. But yeah, you guys got lots of support if it's something you're interested in for sure. And we'll end it there. Thanks again. Thanks to everybody in the chat for joining. Some new followers today. That was great. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll get back to Kahuna's Corner next week, starting on Sunday, game week 3. We'll see you guys then. Take care.